Hey, hey, it's Kristen here. So we are on day 8, and we're talking about your story, like these stories. And I have to say, I always struggled with this, and that thinking that there needed to be like that one moment, that one pivotal moment in my life that was just like I was going this way, and then all of a sudden, I had this aha moment, and it took me in this direction. And I worked at it trying to like find, and I would say it's this moment, and then always talk about it. And this is my moment, and blah, blah, blah. And it's my aha moment. Here's when, how it's affected my life. But usually everyone, it's like this negative, catastrophic, shocking, life-changing event, that's what you usually hear people say, and then it's what's changed them. Like Brendan Burchard talks about, I think he was a teenager, and this really bad car accident. And that was his moment. talks about it all the time, But I was lucky enough to be a part of a webinar with Bo Eason, and he and listen into it. And he's a former football player, but then he's also a writer. He's written some books, and he's also wrote a play, starred in it, and it was really popular on Broadway. It's like one of the top plays, ever. And it doesn't need to be a one defining moment. It really needs to be more about you being a good storyteller. So, because after a while, if I talk about, this one negative, sad, depressing moment in my life over and over again and saying that this was what, turned me around, after a while, people are going to tune out. They're just going to be, oh, she's talking about this moment again in the past, like when is she going to get over the past, or, if you keep giving attention to, the past and what pains you, then that's where your focus is. You miss all of the other maybe little things, all the other great, blessings that you have. So instead of trying to find and just, racking your brain for that one perfect pivotal moment, let's get really great at storytelling. So my idea is just getting better with personal conversations, whether it's in text, phone call, video, in face-to-face, whatever it is. It's learning how to be better at storytelling. And so telling a story to tell a point, really. So say you're having a conversation with someone and where they're at right now, they're struggling, they just don't have the time, or they're finding it hard to fit in the time for food prep or whatnot. And that's where you go ahead and you can interject your story. Like, I totally remember that. When I first started, it was overwhelming. It took a lot longer because I wasn't used to the routine. I didn't have the right setup. I didn't have that, prep this food, all these veggies now, and then I could cook this. And while that's cooking, I can go ahead and do this. Before when I first started, I had to read all of the recipes, and I could only do one recipe at a time, or else then I would just get too overwhelmed and flustered. But over time, I've practiced and just doing it over and over again. And sometimes every week I might do the exact same recipe for a month. I got really good at it. And so that's you're telling your story for that moment, for that sort of situation. And that's what you really need to get better at, It's not always about, this moment I really sucked at something and I learned and now I've overcome. It doesn't always have to be that kind of a story, where 180 pounds, hating life, depressed, horrible marriage, learned that there's an outlet that if I'm happy with myself and I give and take time for myself, now I've overcome and I have successful business, much happier marriage, and a better self-image. It doesn't always have to be something like that. They can't always be those kinds of posts. You can't always come off with something sucky, depressing starting off with, because then it's just going to come off as, oh, here she goes again. Here she goes whining and ranting. It could be just like, just a little glimpse into your life. Like, I can't believe I'm going to tell you this, but, just caught my kid, saying such and such curse word. Time to stop saying that word often because that must be where he learned it. You know, those kinds of things. And that then creates a conversation. People then start posting below, like, oh my gosh, I remember when my kid said his first curse word. It was this or that, or, you know, maybe give tips. That's how you start building conversations, relationships, rapport, is having that engagement and interaction. It's not always going to be about, here's this story of mine, here's my, like, you know, my sad story. Because there are some situations that you're just not going to want to share. You don't have to always share that really sad moment, you know, like I don't always share some of the really bad experiences that I've had. You know, I had a really great upbringing, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm an only child, grew up in a middle-class family, and, you know, I got to dance my heart out until I was in high school, and I did all the things I loved. But there were moments, for sure, you know, starting at a young age, just being different. There was not really a huge demographic of Asian people where I lived. Now, if you drove like 30, 45 minutes away, then yeah, there was a huge community. But where I lived, there was not. There's not a lot of diversity. And so, yes, buddy.
Here.
Okay, I'll open it in a second.
Open it.
Okay, there's not a lot of diversity. Okay, so I want you to go make sure that you are sharing a personal experience as you are sharing your story in your life. It doesn't need to be like, oh, here's a day in the life of a coach kind of a thing. But if you want to make sure that, you know, you could do some of those, like, you know, Man Crush Mondays, you know, Transformation Tuesdays, Thirsty Thursday. Some people do like Too Much Tuesday, or Way Over My Head Wednesday, or Woman Crush Wednesday. And those are just ways to then give you sort of like, when I was a teacher, I would give everyone like story starters and little templates, you know, little ideas on how to start breadcrumbing your story, your life, situations that are happening so that you can come off as relatable, so that you're not always repeating the exact same one story. You know, nobody wants to always hear about the negative things, but, you know, your life changes, your experiences change, and so, you know, over time, things happen, you know, whether maybe you've read a book and that was like your aha moment and it changed the way you thought. So share about that and how maybe now your mindset has changed and your approach to things have changed. Or ever since making the, you know, scary, daunting decision to become a coach, how now the different decisions that you make are different, you know, whether it comes to how things are affected with your family, or whether, you know, where you guys go out to eat, or how active you are. You know, maybe before you guys never thought about that. That was never really a care. That was never a focus. And now the focus is different. The focus is staying active. The focus is being more conscious of what it is that we are eating as a family. So your story can be lots of different stories on lots of different views and topics. So don't necessarily feel like you have to hone in on one story, one version of you, and that's the way to go, and that's the way you're going to relate to people. My version has changed a lot because I have multifaceted areas of my life, whether it's my life homeschooling my kiddo, whether it's, you know, the life, you know, of raising a child with autism, whether it's life of just being a boy mom with 2 boys, you know, whether it's the life of being married to, you know, a husband who was like a cleaner, you know, he's not a cleaner, but the term is a cleaner, where he is always working on some new project, and he is, you know, sort of deemed like a workaholic, and is gone 12, 14 hours a day out of the house. Sorry, my nose itches. And how is that, you know? Just think, you have to realize that your life is not boring. Whatever you think that happens day to day that no one is interested in, they are. You just don't realize it. So find a way to go ahead and just share your story, share your life, and turn it into becoming a storyteller. And really being able to be precise, and you're not telling people what to do. You are just genuinely sharing your story and giving little tidbits, little breadcrumbs along the way. So it's as if this is your own reality TV show. I tell everyone this is your channel. Your Facebook page is your TV channel. So when people are coming and scrolling through your news feed, what are they going to see? What are you going to give them? What little clips are you going to give them so that they actually want to then watch the rest of the episode? So go ahead and start sharing your story.